Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about Pluto's transit into the sign Aquarius, what it means for all of us as the whole world, and what it means for you based on your Western astrology rising sign. So Pluto entered Aquarius in January, and I am getting to this video now because I had other videos to do, and it is an extremely slow moving transit. So Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for about the next 20 years. It just got out of Capricorn, which it entered in 2008. So if you can imagine what was going on in your personal life in 2008, it's going to be different because they hit a different house, but Pluto is the planet, and it is a planet, it isn't a planet, but it is a planet. It's the co-ruler of Scorpio. That is the planet of death, rebirth. And you know what? It's always darkest before the dawn, and there has to be difficulty before we're transcended and reborn into the phoenix that rises from the ashes, which is the symbol of the highest level of Scorpio. So since Pluto is generational, when I do a natal chart, I don't always necessarily pay so much attention. I do a little bit to the sign it's in because everybody your age is going to have it in that same sign, but I do look at the house. The house is really important and what's aspecting that house, and then the ruler of the sign and so forth. So it's a process, but this is where we transform. Anybody with a strong Pluto in their chart, or strong Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon, Scorpio Mars, Venus, and a lot of times Scorpio sun are going to go through death, especially with the Scorpio ascendants, guys, constant death and rebirth in their lives and constant transformation. And as anybody, we all have Scorpio somewhere, you all do, and this is where you transform throughout your life. But on the ascendant, it is pretty profound because we as people definitely keep transforming until we get to the ultimate transformation when we leave this planet, and that is yet just another transformation. So we do continuous transformations throughout our lives, and that's what Pluto is here to do. And Pluto is not the softest, nicest planet. It's not like Neptune. It's not going to it's not going to sugarcoat everything. Sometimes it really is hard to deal with that transformation, especially in the beginning. I will tell you, back in 2008, we had, as you guys remember, we had that big financial crisis going on. So that's when Pluto entered the sign Capricorn. And on a personal level, that's when I very much first got hired to start doing this business. And before I got hired to do this work, I was having a difficult time with a lot of things. And it was a huge transformation in my life. And since then, you know, as you guys know, I've started a business. I travel, I do shows, everything else, come out with my own oracle cards. So it's been a ride, you know, but at the beginning, it was like rocky. I was like, you know, what's going on here? God wanted me to do this. So this is what I ended up doing, but I had to do a death rebirth in order to recreate myself. And we're going through the same thing right now with the planet Pluto. So we are all being recreated for the next 20 years in some area. And we're always going to have changes because the zodiac is like that. They're always throwing something new at us. There's always something going on. The only thing constant, as you guys know, is the change that goes on with us. So there is a theme for all of us for the next 20 years. And today I want to break down your Western tropical chart, your rising sign, not your sun. Since I'm on YouTube, like I told you guys, I can't get really specific, but we are going to talk about your rising sign today and how it's going to impact you for the next 20 years and where your area of transformation is. So Aries risings, you guys are going to transform, you know, in the way of dealing with other people. When Pluto transits the 11th house, or even if it's natally there in somebody's chart, one of the things with these people is their thing is they transform other people and other people transform them. So Aquarius is such an altruistic sign anyways. But what you guys are going to find that a lot of your friendships are maybe, you know, Pluto doesn't mess around too much. Like if somebody's not good for you, Pluto's going to expose that person to you. And that's why Scorpio people have such a reputation for cutting people off. And it's not because Scorpio is a mean group of people. It's just that they know intuitively when, hey, this is not the one for me. I got to cut this one off. So Pluto can kind of make, it can kind of be a little bit harsh in that way. So you guys might have new friendships coming in. You might be ending some because you're outgrowing things, and that's just part of life. But just expect this theme over the next 20 years. Also, you might be doing some altruistic work because it is the 11th house, which is the ruler of Aquarius. Aquarius rules the 11th house. So altruistic work might be really transforming for other people. And that's always a good thing. So getting involved in that kind of stuff might really help you guys grow as individuals during this time. Taurus rising, you guys are focused pretty much all on the career. That's up in the 10th house. It's your public standing, not like the 6th house, like day-to-day jobs, but how the public sees you. So there's going to be major transformations in this way with you guys. And, you know, this can be really positive, although I'm not going to lie and say Pluto's the most easy planet to deal with, because it is destruction and then recreation. It really is. So you might be changing your career totally. You might be rebranding, and it may not be the easiest transition, but you know what? Have faith and move forward with it, because this is where you are in your zodiac life. So Pluto is changing this. Now, I do want to say people with a strong Pluto, just natally, or a strong Scorpio, always attract jealousy to them. They just do. So you guys, you Taurus risings that have this going over this 10th house, you want to be careful of people, jealous people. But Pluto, like I said, they will expose them. So you will know when to just walk away, have strong boundaries. You know, we can't help how other people feel, but we can decide who we want in our lives. So if you get that vibe from somebody career-wise, work-wise, as you're transitioning, as you're recreating, you know, whatever, you might see that you are ending a lot of partnerships, business, you know, relationships within that thing, and new ones will come in, because Pluto always provides. Might take a minute, but Pluto provides. Okay, so Gemini risings, you guys are changing your whole philosophy on life, and it could be a religious change. You might be studying more religions, different religions. You might be becoming more religious during this time. That's all good. But you are going to be more open-minded about religion and philosophy. And so this is, I know this is the 9th house, and it rules travel and all that too. And that's great. But intuitively, I feel like this is more like an inward philosophical change. So by the end of this transit, in about 20 years, you might have a totally different belief system. And you know, that's not a bad thing, but you are kind of exploring right now and listening to other people. And Aquarius is such a free-spirited, live and let live planet as it is, that, I mean, sign that this is kind of neat going through here, because you're going to really listen to different perspectives and change on an internal level during this time. So Cancer ascendants, this is going through the house that Scorpio rules, the 8th house of death, rebirth, transformation, and other people's money. So you guys that are prone to the medium ability, the ability to connect with those who have passed over, you might find this strengthening, because the 12th house and the 8th house are both very, very psychic, medium type houses, and people with planets there are a lot of times very psychic or intuitive. So you guys are going to really kind of, you know, I think this is great, because this can be not only comforting to you, because knowing that those who have passed away that you love are around you, but it's also can be very comforting to other people. And being open-minded is one of the most important things here, because Aquarius, again, is an open-minded sign. And when it's passing through that house, you know, you're not going to be like all closed off to things. And, you know, especially in my line of work, I think that's great if you're open-minded and are able to listen to the angels and see things and hear things and everything else. It's really beneficial not only to you, but to other people. So be aware of that. There could be some changes with other resources and things like that. So if you're in some kind of business partnership and stuff like that, there could be changes with that. And you know, I'm not saying you guys are going to die. I'm not saying that. But, you know, now is a time, and I think we should all do this anyways, just because really we never know where any of us are going to go, to kind of get your affairs in order when your time does come, because it is the 8th house, and you want to make sure everything is straightened out for whoever is still here. And again, I'm not saying you're dying, so I don't want you to get worried about that, but I'm just saying this is a good time to do that. And it's 20 years, so you got a little bit of time to do it, but start thinking about that. Start thinking about your own resources. Start thinking about, you know, where you want where you want to, because none of us are getting out of here alive. So we might as well, you know, plan for that stuff while we're here. Who was I just talking about? What did I just say? I was talking about, oh, Cancer rising. It's always at this, between Cancer and Leo, I always like forget what I'm talking about. Okay, so Leo rising, this is your relationships, and basically it's going to be changes in relationships and the ways that you look at relationships. Again, like I said, Scorpio, like Pluto can bring about jealous people into your life. So you want to, I don't know, do what you want. But all I'm saying is that you might see a little bit, it depends on your particular person. Leos don't do too well with jealous people. They're like Scorpios. They're just like, whatever. But This is going to be profound changes within relationships, and there could be a new relationship coming in, obviously, but and existing ones may end. A lot of times it could be, you know, a total transition for a relationship around you, meaning ending or whatever, but we won't, you know, necessarily say that because I just don't want to get anybody all concerned or whatever. But, you know, Pluto is beginnings and endings. And we just keep, like I said, we just keep doing it all throughout our lives until the final one, which is when we leave here, which is the final transformation here. I know we move on. But, so this is going to be profound changes within relationships, and you might even act different in relationships. You're also going through a major change in relationships because stuff has led up to this recently, you know, probably over the past year that has changed you and has changed all of us in a different way. There's been a lot of stuff going on because when Pluto shifts signs, people think it's not important because it's generational, but it is important because it's hitting a different area of all our lives. So relationships will change for you guys. Virgo ascendants, you're going to talk about health and daily routines are going to change. Now, if you guys don't have health insurance, and again, I'm not trying to make anybody worry. I'm not saying you're going to get sick, but now is a good time to go ahead and get it and get on that, all that kind of stuff. Get your affairs, your health in order. Because Aquarius, you know, is ruled by Uranus. That's one of the rulers. So expect the unexpected, and you want to kind of, it's also a time where you might become more health conscious too. And, just more like that. And I would suggest that during this time, but you definitely want to pay close attention to your health. Try to get rid of any negative habits that you have, or at least minimize them, so that you can, you know, prosper during this whole transit. Then I have, okay, I just did Libra. Sorry, I keep forgetting what sign I'm on. Libra ascendant, you guys, it's going to hit your 5th house. So in astrology, the way I look at astrology chart, if somebody has kids, the 5th house is the first kid, the 7th house is the second kid, the 9th house is the third kid, the 11th house is the fourth kid, and so on and so forth. So like if your kid, there could be a change with your firstborn child. Also, you could be having a kid if you want to have kids, and also you could be having grandchildren. So there's all these changes within there, but something with your firstborn child is going to change if you're a Libra ascendant. Now, being a more creative ascendant, Libra, you guys are going to have probably some opportunities, but again, watch power struggles, because like Pluto is all about power struggles. It's like, no, you're not going to tell me what to do, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And sometimes it makes us like, you know, Scorpio, Pluto people are like, yeah, I'm not, like, I'm doing my own thing, you know? So you got to kind of watch that too, that you don't get like over the top with it, but there is going to be changes. It's also interestingly going to change your idea of what having a good time is, because the 5th house is fun and what we do for fun. So a lot of you, like, you know, up to this point, you might even notice this changing now, have been like, oh, you know, I like to do this on the weekends and I like to do that. Now that might be changing. Your whole idea of a good time could be changing within the next 20 years. And I know 20 years is a long time. We're all going to be a lot older, but it's starting now. This is the area that you need to focus on. Scorpio ascendants, it's everything around the home, early beginnings. The 4th house, it's hitting your 4th house. 4th house is beginning of our lives, circumstances around them, and circumstances around the end of our life. So you guys are going through a major change. I know somebody just wrote on my channel. She goes, why are Scorpio risings having such a hard time? And I know I'm a Scorpio rising too. I get you. It's because we are changing and we're a fixed sign, and we've had a lot of negative stuff going on, a lot of endings, a lot of really, really tragic, sad kind of things going on for a lot of us Scorpios out there. And I've seen that with Scorpio suns too. But you guys, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's always darkest before the dawn. We are in a transformation. So since it's hitting the 4th house, you might be in a situation where you're redoing the whole house. You're renovating your house. You're going to have a strong connection to your past, because that's the 4th house is ruled by the sign Cancer. Your strong connection to your past, and you're kind of bringing it into your future, because, you know, Capricorn, where we came from, is the past. Aquarius is the future. It's just the way it is. So we're not leaving the past behind, but we're taking it over into the future and recreating ourselves a little bit. And it is a process, you know, and we all have to go through this in life. This is life. This is why we're here. It's just the way it is, you know? And also if you are like live with somebody, that might be changing within the next 20 years. If you're not living with somebody, you might, by the end of this transit or during this transit, most likely you'll be living with somebody. So there's a lot of changes with that too. But what's neat about it is you're kind of redoing, renovating the home area. You could be buying a new home. You could be buying a second home. So that's kind of neat for you Scorpio rising. So start thinking about that kind of stuff. Sagittarius, you guys, it's hitting your 3rd house, so you're going to definitely want to watch your thoughts and your communication, because Pluto like I told you guys, Pluto doesn't mess around. Like, it just doesn't mess around. So we want to use our words in a very concise and diplomatic way, but still straightforward, because Pluto's straightforward. Pluto doesn't sugarcoat anything. It's just very like, this is it. This is what it is, you know. And you guys, anybody with a strong Pluto in the chart or a strong Scorpio, usually that's the personality of the person. It's not very like flowery and wordy. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Let's get to the bottom line. So you guys want to be super careful. And there is a tendency towards depression with this transit, because Pluto goes down low and high, you know. Pluto's like a little bit like bipolar with it, you know, because it's recreating, it's death and rebirth all the time. So knowing that, you can guard against that as you go through this. Try to keep your thoughts as positive. I know it's difficult, but you can, with certain habitual changes that you do every day, and try to keep your words as sweet and concise as possible, because Pluto is a little bit of a karmic planet too. So we want to be as nice as possible while we're here. Otherwise it comes back, you know? So Capricorn rising, you guys are having major changes within finances. And again, I want you to look and tread carefully with investments, but you might be starting to do investments now. This is going to be something that's going to be starting, if it hasn't already, very soon for you guys. You guys are typically pretty good at money. So you might build a substantial amount during this time, but just be careful with who you're dealing with because of Pluto, you know, just be careful. And also, you're not going to want to give money away because it may not be used for the best purposes, basically, because of the transit with Pluto. Aquarius, you guys, it's clearly Aquarius rising. It's right on your 1st house. And this is it's really going to change you in like a million different ways. Fundamentally, it could even change your physical appearance, everything about you, who you are. And it's not going to come without challenges, because Pluto never comes without challenges. Pluto is not, it's just the way Pluto is. It's like kind of like Saturn, like it's like kind of a harsh teacher in a way. You know what I mean? They're like, you're changing. I don't care if you don't want to change, but this is what's going to happen. So just be open-minded, and most importantly, be kind of good to yourself during this time if you're an Aquarius rising, because you guys are, you're pretty good about change anyways, even though you're a fixed sign. I mean, you're pretty open-minded, and you're going to just, again, everything I said to everybody else is kind of going to be with you. You know what I mean? You might change your home. You might change your philosophy. You might change your physical appearance. You know, there's going to be a lot going on with you in the next 20 years. Definitely a lot of changes. And lastly, my Pisces ascendants, you guys, it is how you know, hitting that 12th house of seclusion, and it is the house of self-undoing. So one thing I want to watch with you guys as Pluto goes through there, it is going to knock out all your bad habits. So it is going to be like, nope, this is not helping you out. Nope. And Pluto does things in like a forceful way. It does. So I don't want you to be nervous about that. Just, you know, start thinking about this now, some things you'd like to change. It is the house of seclusion, but you know what the beauty is? It's also the house of, like I said, psychic ability, medium ability, and Pisces rising is already an intuitive sign as is, and mediumship, and also hidden talents. So a lot of you might be finding out that you can do something that you didn't even know you could do. And the neat thing about that is when that happens, you could turn that into a career or whatever, you know what I mean? And have a good time with it. So if you're interested in something that, you know, just try different things this next 20 years and be open-minded, because Aquarius is definitely asking you to be open-minded, and watch out for seclusion, though, because you don't want to seclude. A little bit of seclusion is good. We all need it. But too much working for causes is going to be great for my Pisces ascendants during this, because it is held, you know, hitting the 12th house of service or suffering, and we want to be of service. So you guys are going to get great satisfaction from that in the future if you can focus on working and helping others during this time. So thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and I will see you next time. This was a very long video, by the way. See you next time. Bye.